Scholars, now you try. You have 1 minute to answer number one. What is the main idea of traveling on water? The article that we just read. Get ready and go. 10 more seconds, scholars. Great. Let's check our PO codes. Number one, what is the main idea of traveling on water? If you annotated in your scrap paper the word main idea, give me a high five. You're experts right now. What box do I look at in my planner if I'm looking for the main idea? Yes, the TS box. Remember, I'm going to look for all of those important ideas that I wrote in both my repeated topic sentences. People improved the boat to travel faster and farther, which made water travel more efficient and allowed them to trade goods and explore. Letter A, faster water travel. Whoa, scholars, I hope you showed me 2 thumbs down because this is not a main idea. Besides it missing a lot of those details that we just went over, can you tell me why else this cannot be a main idea? Yes, it is not a complete sentence. Friends, this is more of a main topic, which is only 1 to 4 words. But the main idea is always a complete sentence. The main idea is always a complete sentence. The main idea is always a... Yes, this is the main topic, so this is way too general. Let's check letter B. People added sails to boats, which helps them travel long distances on rivers and lakes. Right, friends. So I do see some of the ideas that I wrote about in my main idea, that people added sails and it helped them travel long distances, but it's including a little too much detail about the sails and rivers and lakes. So I think that this is a little too specific. C, people invented faster ways to travel by water, which helped them trade goods. Right. Scholars, I agree so far. I see those 2 big ideas that people invented faster and faster ways and their motivation. Why? It helps them trade goods. Let's double check letter D. Traveling on water became faster over time. Right, scholars. So this is definitely what I wrote in one of my repeated topic sentences, but I'm not seeing as much detail about why people wanted to travel over water. Okay, it's not just about how traveling on water became faster, it's also about what that let people do. So this is a little too general. It's missing that important detail about the people's motivations. So the correct answer is letter C. Go ahead and kiss your brain if you got letter C. Now, let's move on, scholars, to number 2. Again, you have about 1 minute to read all of our answer choices and write your PO codes on your paper. Part A, what conclusion about people's motivation for traveling by water is supported by information in the passage? Uh-oh, friends, it's another Part A question. So I need to be thinking about, all my information and evidence that I read in the text, especially from my topic sentences. What can I add to my schema and say about people's motivation for traveling by water? So think about our evidence and add it to our schema. Get ready and go. "15 more seconds, scholars." Number 2. Scholars, remember, because this is asking me what conclusion, as a good reader, I need to highlight in my question, and in your case, maybe write down a note in your scrap paper, what this question is asking me about. It's asking me to go back in the text and look for evidence about people's motivation for traveling by water. Then I'm going to add that evidence to my schema and think about what inference I can make about their motivations. So now I'm going to go back into my text to double check. I'm noticing that it's talking about, long ago people realized they could travel on water, and people wanted a boat that traveled quickly. And here it says explorers wanted to or began to dream of crossing oceans to find other lands. People could trade food and other things with people far away. So again, I'm really paying attention to evidence that has to do with what the people's motivation is. Now, let's add that to my schema. I think that people really wanted to just be able to travel faster so that they can do really cool things like visiting faraway places, like exploring, or trading goods and food. Let's see if there is an answer choice that matches that. A, people preferred to travel by land than on water. Right, friends. I would say that this is probably not true or even the opposite. It talked about earlier in the text how humans have always traveled on land, but long ago they realized they could travel on water too. This text did not talk about how people wanted to travel by land instead of water. It was probably the opposite. Traveling on water was faster and allowed them to go farther. B, people wanted to travel farther distances faster. Yeah, so far, I'm hearing something about the people's motivation, an inference about their motivation. They invented all these cool things because they just wanted to go farther places at a faster time. Instead of trips taking months, they made inventions to shorten those trips to weeks instead. Let's double check letter C. People believe cargo ships and steam tanks were the fastest ways to travel. Right. It does talk about how today these are probably the most advanced boats and ways of water travel, but I don't really see any evidence about how people think that these are the fastest ways to travel. So, this is no evidence. And letter D. People wanted to use sails instead of paddles. Well, scholars, I agree that this is part of the people's motivation, but is this the best conclusion that I can say about people's motivation for traveling by water in general? No, this is not relevant. This is talking about one way they can travel instead of another, but it's not telling me about why they want to travel by water in the first place. This answer choice is answering a different question. So my correct answer is letter B. Show me a yes if you got that. Great job, friends. Make sure that you double check your answer choices in case you might have clicked something by accident like Miss Yabut did. And go ahead and click next.